What's going on, guys? Coach Vic here. Welcome back to another episode of the FBP podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about mental imagery and meditation, how it can help you become more prepared, build confidence, and decrease time it takes to develop your skills. Let's get into it. So to get started with your mental imagery and visualization, I created a free audio for you to download. I'll leave a link in the description box below, or if you're listening to the podcast version, check out the notes below this episode or go to ferrantebaseball.net/free audio. So what is mental imagery and meditation? First off, mental imagery and meditation is a skill set. Okay. And we can use this skill set to visualize our process, to visualize what we want to create out on the ball field, whether it's baseball, softball, or really anything in your life. But of course, we're talking about baseball, softball here. We're talking about if you can see something in your mind happen first, it's much easier to recreate it in the present. Okay. So what is mental imagery, also referred to as mental rehearsal or even visualization, is visualizing the process that you want to implement during competition. Now, it's not, some may think, well, isn't that just daydreaming? Not exactly. This is much more intentional and much more specific. We want to mentally rehearse and recreate the things that happen to us throughout the course of a game. So that includes, of course, our success, but that also includes our failures, right? It also includes adversity. It also includes any possible scenario in which we might face during a game. We could also mentally rehearse our practice. We can mentally rehearse our practice reps before we actually take our reps. By developing this skill set, your ability to recreate realistic images in your mind, you're going to be able to help increase the quality of your preparation. The more prepared you are, the more confident you're going to feel come game time. The more prepared you're going to be for any possible scenario that may arise during competition, as well as it decrease the time it takes to learn new skills or to develop your current ones. So our brain doesn't really know the difference between what we are thinking and what we are experiencing in the present moment. You see, our brain is taking in information and processing it, and then our body feels what is going on in the present moment. So when you've had a nightmare or just any kind of really intense dream, when you wake up, you might be sweating. Your heartbeat is elevated, right? You that split second where you're wondering, did that actually happen? Was that real? And then you kind of like come back to reality and you realize, oh no, that was just a dream. So that was all happening inside your mind, yet your body was responding to it as if it was happening in real life. Our brain sends the signals of what we are thinking in our mind. Our brain takes that and sends that to our body. Again, oversimplistic terms, but that's generally what is going on here, is that our body is receiving messages from our mind. This is why if we're ever out in the wild and we came across a predator, our brain needs to be able to process the fact that that is a potential threat, to be able to send the signals to our body to respond in a fight or flight mode, to be able to do whatever we need to do to survive. There is information that is being processed into the body and our body responds. For example, we use the past failures and we think about them, and that makes us scared or tense or anxious in the present. So in a sense, you're mentally rehearsing your failures and you're bringing them into the present moment, therefore affecting how you perform and how you hit. Okay, so same way you make an error on the field. Okay, if you're replaying that error in your mind over and over again, you're rehearsing it in a sense. It's not structured like I'm talking about today, but you're still bringing that energy and that vision into your present moment. Therefore, your body is reacting as if you're making that error over and over and over again, similar to a dream. Whatever it is that you're dreaming about, your body is responding to the image that is in your mind. So we can develop the skill set of mental imagery and meditation to improve this skill, to almost dream on purpose, dream with intention. So then we can get good at it and we can really get detailed. So now we can even think about and rehearse our process, rehearse our routine, rehearse how I'm going to even respond in a negative in an adverse situation. Bad call by the umpire. I can rehearse that now. I can rehearse having a better attitude. I can rehearse staying focused. I can rehearse, coming back, battling against a pitcher, fouling off pitches, and how the mindset and the mentality that I'm going to maintain during that at bat. I can rehearse that. And if we've rehearsed it in our minds to the point where we feel as though that it was real, you're giving your body real repetitions. Rehearsing the process that you want to create while staying focused. Once you are in a game environment, now being able to maintain your focus is going to be much easier than it was had you not rehearsed it. You see, if we go through the game as we are, most of the time we're just reacting. We're not responding, we're reacting, not usually in a very effective way. So a call doesn't go our way, we react in a negative way with frustration. You can rehearse not reacting, but responding to a bad call in a better way. If you can keep the mind level throughout the game, then your consistency as a player is going to improve. You will be able to maintain your highs longer and minimize your low points. Mental rehearsal and visualization can help you, again, when those negative situations arise, you can think more logically, right? More rationally versus being more emotion and more reactive versus proactive, right? Reactive is just kind of that, we let the emotion kind of burst out of us versus giving yourself a delay. When something happens, you're not as quick to react, but more so respond in a proactive way that is going to help you and your team be more successful. So how about some common myths about mental imagery and meditation? Number one is I already do mental imagery. I daydream during class. And so daydreaming about hitting a home run once or a few times during the day is not the same thing as being able to sit down, close your eyes, and be able to visualize yourself intentionally going through your process step by step, and then doing that with repetitions. So there's a big difference between daydreaming and mental imagery. I don't have the time. Mental imagery and visualization can be done in as little as 3 minutes, 5 to 10 being kind of more general, but as little as 3 minutes a day, you can improve your skill of mental imagery and visualization. It takes you to make it a priority and implement it in. Anybody can squeeze in 3, 5, or 10 minutes a day. Another myth is that this is going to take years of practice. I'm going to need to be a monk in order to be good at meditation. And that's just simply not true. You can start doing daily meditations, like I said, as little as 3 minutes a day. You're going to start to see and feel improvements within the first few days. Another myth, meditation is spiritual or religious in nature. Meditation is simply separating yourself from all the noise and the chaos that is going on in our lives. It allows you to step back from all that is going on and be able to find some stillness and some peace. And so there is absolutely no religious beliefs or spiritual whatnot involved at all. It is simply harnessing the tools that we have as human beings, which is a body and a mind. Another myth about meditation is that your mental rehearsal or your visualizations need to be perfect. They are not perfect. The goal is to rehearse it as realistic as possible. If you rehearse success after success after success after success, and you're just so perfect in your dream, your daydream, right? Everything that you rehearse in your mind is perfect. You're not preparing yourself for what's actually going to happen in a scenario. So it's been shown that mental imagery is more beneficial in rehearsing adversity. That is where most players get tripped up. When we face adversity, it takes us out of our green light and puts us into a yellow or a red, or knocks us into winter. If you're wondering what I'm referring to by winter, I did a previous podcast talking about the 4 seasons of hitting. Be sure to check that out. The final myth is that my performance is going to go just as I rehearsed. And again, that is absolutely not true. It is simply practice. And the higher the quality of your practice, the more prepared you're going to be for competition. The better that you are going to play and hit when games come around. It is nothing but practice. The other beauty of mental imagery is that there's almost no limit to how many reps you can take. Now, this is where huge progress can be made, Because think about all the time you probably waste on your phone, that you probably waste on social media. Easy, 5, 10, 20, 30 hours can go by and you have wasted that time. Yet on the other hand, you want to become a better baseball player. You want to become a better hitter. Yet you're not utilizing that free time that you had to becoming a better baseball player. So we need to understand that anybody can make time for this, but they just have to make that choice. Okay. When you decide to do this, you will get better at it. Just like anything, your mind is a muscle. If you train the mind, it will grow, it will develop, it will get stronger. Okay, guys, so to help you get started with your mental imagery and visualization, I created a free guided mental imagery session for you to download right now. You can go to the link in the description below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening to the podcast version, you go to ferrantebaseball.net/free audio. All you got to do, find a nice quiet place. Don't do it when you're driving, okay? Find a quiet place and just follow along. You could do it in the morning. You could do it before a practice session. You could do it after a practice session. Even better, before bed at night. Having fresh mental images in your mind right before bed can really help build the subconscious memory that we want to have when we go out on the field. Okay, rehearsing step by step how you think, how you feel, how you respond out on the field is going to determine your success. Okay, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to hit subscribe, hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Give the mental imagery a try and drop a comment down below and let me know what you think. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next one.